looking at it, we talked about Galio potentially being this big priority pick. My eyes are really going to be on the bot lane. What is going to be, as we hop into Champ Select here, what is going to be the focus? Are we going to see Caitlyn and Ashe in the bot lane? Are we going to see, the Caitlyn Lux dynamic bot lane duo that's really strong? Will we see the Karthus that Jeff mentioned that Sharon Fang pulled out last time against NG Blossom? What kind of spicy picks are we going to see down there, and how does the mid lane matchup shake out?
So in the bot lane, there's two big picks that I feel like we're forgetting to talk about, and that's the ever so present and ever so loved by everybody, obviously, Sona bot lane, right?
Oh no,
Sona Lux bot lane. It's honestly a crime against humanity, but it's ruling the rift in the bot lane. Too much healing. So that's another pick we need to think about in the bot lane. But with the most recent buffs, Lucian's pretty strong right now. So I would also look to see maybe a Lucian pick here and there, just because he has so much all-in potential now, and with a little bit of extra damage added to his kit, I would be looking to see maybe a Lucian picked up if the Caitlyn Ashe are taken off the table.
Man, and one of the strengths of the Lux Sona bot lane is that it's not the carry, right? It's just a bunch of healing and shielding. And when you look at this powerhouse jungler and Ham, right? In some ways, you almost couldn't ask for a better bot lane to buff up someone that's going 15-1 against the third place team in the league. So we'll have to see if, like you said, it comes out and maybe Ham just completely takes over the game with all the healing and shielding for him. But, it does do some damage, right? When they hit 6, they have the chain CC ults. They can one-shot some people. As we did have a little Champ Select bug, and that's why you're seeing everything at 0 seconds and things like that. We got to reload the lobby, get back into Champ Select again. Sometimes the internet fails us or our computer fails us. But this Lux Sona bot lane might actually, like you're saying, have an impact on the series, and that'd be a little crazy.
So we talked about a little bit of the bot lane. We've talked a little about the jungle. What about the top lane, right? So we have Jeremy Flip.
Top's an island.
You're not wrong, right? That's why he likes to pick up Gangplank, because he can hold down his island pretty easy. So he plays a lot of Gangplank, a little bit of Set, Mordekaiser, Aatrox. But what are you looking to see coming here from Meowing Cat? His top pool is maybe a little bit different, more like a Malphite. Sometimes he'll play a little bit of mages. What are you looking to see in this top matchup?
I mean, honestly, as long as Meowing Cat is kind of playing similar to how he did last week, kind of on the more tank styles and things like that, and just being the front line up there for his team, he doesn't really have to worry about too much. I mean, sure, Gangplank can kind of free stack on you if you're a tank. We might see the Gangplank banned away. But, I mean, when you look at the rest of Meowing Cat's team, he doesn't have to do much to win the game, right? In this team environment, nobody's expecting him to be the carry. We're not expecting to see any, like, Jace, Fiora, Lucian top lane to counter Gangplank to really just come out of nowhere. But however, you did mention Lucian getting buffed. So maybe it's in his wheelhouse. We know Tanamo loves to play Lucian mid. So maybe we see a Lucian mid, Meowing Cat, or Lucian go top to counter GP, Meowing Cat go mid. There's some interesting flex options that Kisses for Cats have with the Lucian buffs and some other things. But for the most part, we're kind of just expecting Meowing Cat to be the rock, to just go even in lane, show up to team fights, be more useful in the team fights. Especially when you have the powerhouse Ham Tanamo that we've seen all season long, ever since they joined Kisses for Cats. That upswing from like 8th place to 2nd seed has really been from the mid jungle.
So with mid jungle, you have a lot of objective priority, a lot of roam priority. Do you think that Ham Tanamo's going to be able to pull it off better than exasperated Black Oreo cookies, or do you think it's going to be back and forth, maybe just kind of up to the game, or do you think one are just going to have a dominant?
I think Ham and Tanamo have more upside, but they also haven't been playing together as long as Exasperated and Black Oreo cookies, and they are consistent, but they're not quite as consistent. I think if they are able to punish them, maybe Jeremy Flip goes, if he gets his more aggressive like Set, and he can lane bully up there, we might see Jeremy Flip showing up and kind of turning the 2v2s into 3v2s for the side of NG Blossom. I think him goes a little ham, like his name says. We've seen him, whether it's being cocky in some of his games or just how he is with his pure aggression, kind of like how Blabber plays in LCS, just very aggressive, very reliant on his lanes showing up to also help him, because he'll find himself in situations that could be 1v3s if he doesn't have the help he needs. And that's where I talked about that mid synergy coming into play. But if Jeremy Flip's able to have top lane priority, or maybe we see XDME and Catnator in the bot lane having some bot lane priority picks, like we see a Caitlyn Lux from them, or some really strong bot lane with a Lucian Leona or something, and they have this huge bot lane prio, we might see Ham get invaded and get punished. And with the way he's always been playing with this, he seems to always play with big leads, right? He gets those big leads first 10 minutes of the game and really snowballs them. If he doesn't get that lead in the first 10 minutes, I don't think he's quite as consistent as Exasperated is.
So, do you think Ham's going to opt in for those early game aggressive junglers for sure? Like the Graves, the Echoes, the Kindreds, Rengars type? Or do you think he might look to maybe pull it back a little bit, and those who can scale a bit better, like a Kayn, Evelynn, Lee Sin, those type of champions?
I mean, honestly, it's going to be really up in the air. I honestly couldn't even make a guess because I don't really know what these teams have been prepping for, right? They've had a week to prepare. I think we'll see Ham stick with his early game junglers. I think Graves would probably be the best bet if it gets left open because it doesn't necessarily have to snowball early game. I personally believe Graves still does want to have a couple kills early game as he is a damaged jungler. So he's going to want to use his early game power to get early leads so he won't fall off when he builds damage. But he's still a pretty fine champion, even if he doesn't get kills, right? Just building CS leads. And for the side of Exasperated, we might see him go back to Olaf. I don't know if we've really seen any J4 Sedge tank junglers coming out from him. So we might see them try to match this early game aggression. And this might be an explosive series, right? We could see two teams come out of the gate swinging in these first 10 minutes be bloodbaths. I really don't expect them, especially with how the playoffs have been in general. I don't expect either one of these teams to hold back punches, right? I'm not expecting at 20 minutes us to be looking at the score 0-0, sleeping at the mic. I definitely expect this to be a very, very bloody game very early on.
Honestly, with how I've been, run a couple of casts of these series, I haven't seen anything too spicy for the level 1, except for that one time where we saw the teams meet in the bot lane. I'm really interested to see if we have some, interesting level 1s, like maybe a top invade, a bottom side wrap. I'm ready to see a good level 1 because at the end of the day, they're fun and they're good to cast, but at the same time, it sets the tempo and the pace for that game. So I'm hoping to see early level 1, maybe see one team pull ahead or the other one hang on longer. But that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for the early game aggression, and we're going into a bloodbath right off the gates.
Yeah, and we've finally gotten all our players back in the lobby, and it looks like we're about to hop back into Champ Select finally. Nothing like a quick little player difficulty to start off the finals. I already had Kisses for Cats 3-0, and maybe maybe it's starting a little sooner than I expected.
Alright, first ban out is the Cassiopeia. You talked about how it's a really good flex pick between Tanamo and Sharon Fang, so Cassiopeia ban, pretty expected.
Yeah, and if you've been a fan of ALS, probably seen his 1v3 play on Tanamo's 1v3 play on the Cassio this season, so no real surprise to see kind of his main champion taken away. And there's a Lux ban, so that targets both Caitlyn Lux and Lux Sona from the bot lane XDME and Catnator. And I really like that because if you pick Caitlyn by herself, she's still strong, but there are more answers. We have Ashe and Jhin that you can kind of pick into it. And no Karthus. NG Blossom, despite whatever prep they may or may not have had, just decide better to not go against it.
Pix has so much potential because he's able to take over a game either in the bot lane or the mid lane.
The jungle.
But at the same time, I was getting to that.
Yep.
But at the same time, in the mid to late game of the jungle, Karthus is basically a champion you have to worry about 2 times in the team fight. or an
Yeah, I'm
objective
sure you-
because he's gonna, lock down
Die.
a whole area and then keep out putting out so much damage while he flashes into your team to suicide and then kill you again.
Yeah, I'm sure you could even play him top lane, to be honest. But we do see the Gangplank banned away from Jeremy Flip, kind of knowing their top laner's probably going to be more on a tank style anyways, and not just give Jeremy Flip free scaling. We've seen how good he's been on his Gangplank all year. The KO ban is pretty unique. I don't know. It might be targeted at Meowing Cat, maybe? I'm not really sure who they're targeting with that KO ban, to be honest. It's not really a champion we see too much, and I think that champion does have a lot of easy counters early on in the game. But we do see Caitlyn banned away, and Jeremy Flip, they're going to pick up Ashe for the side of Catinator, and that's just a really strong marksman. It kind of fits into this style of supporting the mid jungles that we've talked about.
The Ashe picked up, looks like they're going to go ahead and respond with an Ezreal pick locked in for Sharon Fang. While Ashe offers a lot of utility with her slows and obviously her Enchanted Crystal Arrow, Ezreal offers a lot of poke, and at the same time he does a lot of damage with the slows from the Frozen Gauntlet, or the Iceborne Gauntlet. So the Ezreal pick is a good matchup for the Ashe.
I really like Ashe into Ezreal, honestly, because with all the slows you have in your kit, plus the Ashe Arth, it's actually very easy to stay on Ezreal, at least in terms of like a lane. But Ezreal is a very solid team fighter, more mobility to kind of move around, and it really fits in with this Rumble lock-in they picked. Probably going to see Rumble mid for Tanamo. A very unique blind pick, but it is pretty good into Galio, and we're going to see the Galio picked up. We talked about how important the Galio pick might be in this series. Well, we're going to see it probably over for Black Oreo cookies already. But I do like Rumble into Galio. We're going to have to see, because Rumble really is that roaming mid laner, and Galio can match those roams pretty well. And we see the Galio J4 combo locked in. It's a very scary combination. But we do have an Ezreal, right? So Ezreal should, in theory, be able to avoid pretty much all of the Galio J4 combo. And then Graves goes over to Ham, and I mean, Graves also has Smokescreen and dashes to kind of get away from this J4 Galio combo. So it's going to be really on Black Oreo cookies here to kind of figure out who are they actually going to focus in these fights. What's the point of the Galio J4? It should be for this early game. Hopefully we're going to see a bunch of early game plays to really snowball this comp.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it right now. It's going to be kind of hard to engage on that Graves and Ezreal like you talked about, because of the smoke screen, because of the arcane shift, because of Graves' quick dash. So right now their target is Rumble. Well, locking yourself into a pit with Rumble is not always the greatest idea when you have an equalizer available. And then we just got to be careful with how this comp builds, because if they put all their eggs in one basket, and Kisses for Cats is planning for that, and they build their comp around wanting them to all come in the entire time, Kisses for Cats might have this game won in Champ Select.
They could. I think top lane is really going to decide a lot with the matchups, because in terms of a pure 1v1, Graves kind of smashes Jarvan, right? In theory, you're never going to get hit by Jarvan Q. It's a pretty free like win in the 1v1, and this might be a Rumble. I would almost say Rumble support over Rumble top lane. I'm not gonna lie, because Rumble top lane is pretty bad. Although with the bans going out as set and Aatrox up there, we might actually see a Rumble top, which should be cool. I haven't seen it. I don't think I've even seen it this entire season from any competitive team. So very interesting pick if they throw a top lane, and we'll see a Shen locked in as well for the top side of Jeremy Flip.
Shen locked in for the top lane, and possibly a Rumble. I'm assuming it's Rumble top. I doubt people play the Rumble support, spiciness like you might pull off. But if we look at NG Blossom's team right now, we have Shen, Galio, Jarvan, right?
Dude.
A lot of lockdown. Plus we added Morgana binding into the mix with the Soul Shackles afterwards. That's a lot of CC coming out for NG Blossom here, ready to lock down Ham if he gets a little too out of control.
But NG Blossom's team comp is very telegraphed, right? I'm looking at it, and it's like We have a whole bunch of global pressure. We're going to make a whole bunch of plays around our bot lane, right? A whole bunch of plays around the Ashe, Arrows, and CC, the Morgana CC, bringing in the J4 with the gank, Galio, Shen. Just bring it all bot lane, right? It's a very telegraphed, and please tell me it's Rumble support. Or is it Orianna support? Oh man, I hope I predicted it with Rumble support. That's going to be super cool. But there's a whole bunch of telegraphed early game plays, right? I feel like they're very lacking in damage. And with this Vladimir last pick coming out, I mean, you talk about ways to get out of CC, we have Vladimir Pool, right? The big thing with the Vladimir is there's not many squishies to one-shot, but the ones you do are going to be important because there's not much damage on the side of NG Blossom. If they snowball early, Galio's going to do a lot of damage. Even J4 can deal a lot of damage when they snowball. But Ashe we've talked about her being more utility marksman. She can do high damage, but she's not the highest damage ADC. And Galio's kind of the same way. He can do a lot of damage, but not the highest damage mid. So it's really all about snowballing in the early and mid game with your global, right? Outnumbering your opponent on the play you're going for.
So with that, we're going to look and see the Shen-Vladimir matchup. Obviously Vladimir's going to win the lane, whereas Shen is going to be looking to make a whole bunch of plays on the bot lane. In the jungle, if Ham can get enough pressure on Exasperated and take the counter jungle, take the camps, or just invade and just look for his kills like he likes to do, that could be a good way to kind of shut down that early game and keep Exasperated out from influencing that bot lane. It's going to be pretty hard to kind of gank Meowing Cat at the top lane, especially with the Vladimir pool like we were talking about. In the mid lane with the Orianna versus the Galio, we kind of seen that matchup a couple times. Orianna's able to get a good amount of poke off, but if Orianna's not careful, Galio can go for a quick all-in and turn that lane around very quickly if you're not careful.
Yeah, and the big thing is we're going to see double cleanse probably from the carries of Kisses for Cats.
And with Sharon Fang on Ezreal, already has an Arcane Shift, and he's going to have a Flash. And now we're going to add a Cleanse into the mix. They might not even want to put their full focus onto Sharon Fang right away, which is a scary thing to think about because he's going to be the one person you want to go in on. Which is why I'm thinking they're going to target Graves a lot here because Ham likes to take the Smite Ignite on Graves.
Yeah, and I think with that pressure, that global pressure, it's going to be very easy to punish him. I'm sorry, continue, please.
No, that's what I was thinking is because, with him playing it as aggressive as he is, all you have to worry about then is Jeremy Flip coming for a quick ultimate on top of him, or Black Orange Cookie's looking to quickly respond. If Tanamo and Meowing Cat aren't able to kind of lock down their lanes and allow Ham to play as Ham as he wants.
Yeah, and you talk about the safety that we're going to see from Ezreal. It does look like we have a double cleanse from both carries, and it's just so smart, right? Because it's a bunch of CC early game damage like I was talking about, and if they don't snowball, I mean, we have 5 damaged champions versus 2.5, right? So both ways, it's Kisses for Cats have scaling. We might see a whole bunch of there's not much resistances coming out from NG Blossom. I mean, their bot lane's going to always be pretty squishy. Galio might, he might have Adaptive Helm or Abyssal Mask, but he's still going to be relatively squishy in the grand scheme of things. The person probably to punish the most will be Special K on the Rumble support. It's a pick that, no mobility on Rumble, right? We talked about locking a Rumble in the J4 ult's not always the best idea. You don't want to fight him with the ult, but he will be under-leveled as a support, so he's not going to have the levels into his R like some of the other Rumbles. He might be hitting 6, might not even have 6 when we see the first gank come out bot lane with the J4 ults and things like that. He's going to be late on the level 11 power spike for your rank 2 ultimate on Rumble. And we're going to have to see what he builds. He's probably going to look to rush that Leandries, and even still, it's going to be pretty late coming out, I'd imagine. So the Rumble damage is going to come online really around the level 11, 3rd Dragon fight is where we're really going to see the Rumble. Now, if you disrespect Rumble in lane, I will say, as a support made myself, when you lane against Rumble support, he can do a surprising amount of damage. I don't expect to see any 2v2 kills in bot lane, but one binding on Rumble, he could die. Rumble lands some good poke with his E. We might see a potential for a kill down there.
So with the Rumble versus the the Morgana matchup, is that a whole lot of skill dependent? Is that a very skill dependent matchup, or is that more of a, it's more one sided to the Morgana because of the Black Shield and the bind? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's just like any other Morgana matchup for most squishy supports, where if you get hit by a binding, you can be in a lot of trouble. Rumble does have a shield though, and I mean it's not really a bad matchup because Rumble's E, his harpoon, when he shoots out, the first one breaks Morgana Black Shield. So just one electro harpoon with the comet will break a Black Shield, and then you still have the second one that you can get for the slow to follow up with your Flame Spitter. So it's a pretty decent matchup for the Rumble support overall. But it still is very susceptible to ganks, right? We see one Morgana binding land. Ashe might even be able to get the 2v2 kill with no heal on the side of Kisses for Cats. But one binding is all it takes for, Galio, J4, Shen to kind of show up and boom, dead. But we do have an Ignite coming out from Special K, right? So they're trying to be aggressive. We do see him with the aggressive support pick and taking the Ignite, really trying to win the lane down there.
We see the Ignite in the bot lane, but then we see a TP on Catinator and a heal from XDME. So they're also looking to kind of make some of those, the global play from the Ashe. Well, obviously the quick TP back to lane, but then we have the heal for a little bit of safety, as they're going to be very worried about him coming out of the bot lane. I think a lot of how this game is going to be is, we talked a lot about the early game, but I think the first couple objective fights might decide the tempo for this game.
Yeah, and we see triple phase rush from the side of Kisses for Cats. And most of those champions, like all three of those champions, it's pretty standard to take it on. But it's just doubling down on this point of, they don't have much damage, they don't have much range, right? All of NG Blossom's comp relies on snowballing this early mid game with J4 EQ into R, with Galio being able to gap close to taunt, with Shen taunting. A bunch of chain CC can make up for lacks of damage. But when you have Vladimir with pull and phase rush, you have Nimbus Cloak Graves with phase rush speeding away. We have Orianna with phase rush, probably has Nimbus Cloak. She also has her W that speeds up and slows. There's so much utility for Kisses for Cats to get away from this early game CC, this early game damage that's going to come out. And if they get through that, I really think it's super one-sided. And it's a little different, right? Because we normally talk about Ham snowballing in the early game. This game honestly feels like NG Blossom is doing everything to stop Ham from snowballing early, but Kisses for Cats wins if they just don't feed early. So we'll have to see if Ham is able to not die a whole bunch early. They're not able to feed NG Blossom to a win, as it looks like we will get an invade level 1 from NG Blossom. Already starting the finals off spicy. Double 4 stacks.
So the 4 stack of NG Blossom heading into the bot side of the river, making their way up, looking to see if they can find someone to Morgana bind, whereas Kisses for Cats kind of hovering around in the mid lane in that pixel brush, trying to see him. Oh, they spotted it out now. Special K is he kind of pinged them out here.
They weren't spotted. Oh, the binding just misses.
Ward goes down. Now they're going to know if Ham starts on that bottom side, making their way right back out. Look at that Electro Harpoon damage at level 1.
And that's kind of a greedy path. Maybe Exasperated wanted to start topside, but to try to path through the mid-river like that, they took a lot of poke. And, we're going to see Kisses for Cats immediately move to punish, right? They know they chunked him out, and now they're looking for a cheeky wraparound. And we're going to see a 4v4 level 1.
Here we go. Ham making his way forward. The target's going to be Catinator. They're all getting ready to come in, and here we go. They're picking it off. Ignite goes down, and first blood over to Tanimo for Kisses for Cats.
Man, Kisses for Cats doing the classic early game special. We already see, Tanimo with the kill now, and Catinator not going to use the TP, just going to hold on to it. But, bot lane's going to swing pretty heavily in the favor of Sharon Fang and Special K. And this jungle matchup is going to swing super hard for him as well. You talked about looking to punish him because he has Ignite and not Flash. We see a level 2 gank and already forcing a Flash out of Black Oreo cookies. It's going to be really hard to punish the Graves because your Jarvan is starting very far behind.
that first camp taken away, and then a lot of the Raptors camp also taken away from him, it's going to definitely slow down his clear, and it's going to definitely slow down his tempo, while Ham is going to maintain a very strong tempo with forcing out that first blood, and as well as getting ahead with the counter jungle.
Yeah, and I mean, top lane, Meowing Cat's just really pushing the lead that this Vladimir's going to have over Shen for most of the game, starting early to mid game until Shen has like 2.5, 3 items. It's pretty unwinnable up there. And, you know, it's already looking rough for NG Blossom, right? We wanted them to have the early game, mid game tempo, as Graves is looking for a repeat gank on the flashless Scalio.
Here he comes back in, smoke string going down, taunt coming out. There's Ham's Ignite as he's moving his way back forward, but it looks like Black Orchid might just try to walk away. So much damage, and Ham picks up the kill. 2-0 for KFC, for Cats.
Yeah, and, you know, Black Oreo Cookies didn't really read it. Tanamo kind of just walked into him, and he kind of got baited by it, but Tanamo, like, well played, you know, blocks the Galio E, and Galio doesn't have any escape tools without the flash if you're able to block his E. And, you know, he just immediately TPs back to lane. So we're going to see Tanamo, he's already got a kill, he's got an assist, he's got a very good early tier, you know, 3 minutes into the game. Very early tier.
So with that tier coming out, you know, we're going to have a double tier carries from Tanamo and Sharon Fang. Do you think that's going to be too much scaling with Ham and Meowing Cat also or Meowing Cat looking to scale, but Ham also trying to play a little more aggressive, or do you think it's going to be just the right amount to make sure they do enough damage still?
Well, you know, the thing is, Kisses for Cats, it's like when we looked at their game versus Iron Dragons, and Iron Dragons had a lot of scaling, and they kind of smashed them early game. The difference here is Kisses for Cats do have some early game potential, right? Rumble is strong early mid game. Ezreal does spike pretty quickly, so does Orianna, and then Graves is really strong in the early mid game. And there's not too much damage threat, so, you know, they might be okay. Even with this early lead, they can still give up the first 1 or 2 dragons and show up to this 3rd dragon with their level 11 Rumble with all their item spikes coming in around 2 items at the 3rd dragon and just steamroll a team fight. So they don't have to fear too much because they don't have to wait for level 16 power spikes or super late game. They have this insane level 11 2-item spikes on almost all their carries.
So right there, we saw Exasperated come into the bot lane, maybe look for a lane gank, but then was spotted out by that ward. You know, more and more just wasting the time of this jungler and allow Ham to keep scaling. Right now, we can see double the CS over to Ham, and as well as a 2-level lead.
Yeah, that was a massive waste of time, as we're actually seeing almost a solo or 2v2 kills in the bot lane, forcing the flash and the heal.
That's a very strong play coming out by Shadow Fang and Special K, Sharon Fang and Special K right now.
Oh, Exasperated, I'm so sorry. He just had to stand and watch as his Gromp got taken in front of him.
And here we go, Jeremy Flip taunting in, EQ going forward. Here comes Black Orchid Cookies looking for the quick taunt, but it's not going to land. Jeremy Flip forced to flash, Ham kiting back. Meowing Cat picks up the kill. Flash forward by Exasperated, and that's going to be the kill over to Ham. But here comes Tanamos trying to see if he can find anybody, but he won't.
Yeah, and you know, that's part of what I was talking about earlier on the analyst desk, where mid lane power is really going to come into effect. You know, who gets there first. Galio didn't pick up an assist, but, you know, being able to get there first, they were able to at least 1-for-1. And it's not ideal, obviously, giving Meowing Cat a kill, but it does give Exasperated a little bit of pressure back because Ham died, so that's, you know, 30 seconds to 45 seconds that Ham's not on the map, actively getting more camps and still building the XP lead. So it's a little bit of a break for Exasperated to try to claw his way back in, but it's already a 2-level deficit in the jungle, like you mentioned. And they might even be able to get these early couple dragons. We've seen some strong bot lane prio coming out with the Rumble pick already, and they might be able to swing themselves an early dragon with this jungle lead.
First dragon's going to be the Cloud Dragon, obviously, but hang on. Here comes Ham again. Look, Smoke Screen. It's going to go ahead and stop the dash. Shockwave comes out. It's going to connect on the Oreo Cookies, and now he is going to be taken down by Ham.
Yeah, and that should probably be Dragon. We're seeing Ham transition straight down there, and well played on the gank. I mean, blocks the Galio E, and Black Oreo Cookies was unable to, you know, didn't want to flash away, kind of held on to it. Ham is looking to invade Exasperated instead, potentially catch him at the red. A little bit of COD timing, not quite able to find him. But he will, move down to this bot side. We might see a gank on the flashless Catnator here.
Smokescreen forced it out. They're going to chunk Catnator out to below half health. And Exasperated needs to kind of alleviate some of this pressure, because if he doesn't, Ham's just going to keep snowballing through this game. 2 kills already picked up for him, and he's been a part of every single kill so far in this early game.
Yeah, we see Tanimo's down here. They're looking to potentially tower dive, and this might be a mistake. We do have Shen with ult and Galio with ult. It would be a 5v4 tower dive, potentially. But Black Oreo Cookies hasn't moved yet.
Alright, the ult from the Shen coming out. It's going to go ahead and save the life of Catnator. And Exasperated also is going to make his way to the bot lane. But here comes Galio on the flank through the river. They got to keep his eye out here as he's setting his sights onto Tanimo. And Channing Crystal Arrow's going to land on the Sharon Fang. It's going to force the cleanse in the flash. But here comes the flashback forward by Special K. He got the ignite down on the Catnator, but he's going to get taken down by Jeremy Flip. Ham's now getting chased away. Here comes Exasperated. Flag and Drag goes a little bit wide, but now he's going to be ticking down lower and lower. He's on the run now from Jeremy Flip, but I think Jeremy Flip's going to go ahead and take him down here. But Sharon Fang going in and taking down XDME.
Yeah, and, Kisses for Cats is playing to the strength of their enemy here. I talked about this ability to just 5-man bot lane. We have Shen ult. Galio didn't look to ult actively, but he was on the roam, almost able to solo Tanimo out on the backside. And, why would you play to the strength of your enemy? You have this massive lead on Ham. Take the free dragon, right? You don't have to force this tower dive. And instead, you force the tower dive. You just see Shen immediately ult in, and now you lost the dragon. Luckily, you're still up 1,500 gold, right? You still scale really well. It's not the end of the world. But if that trend continues, we see one more play like that, this game might swing really hard for NG Blossom.
So with how it's set up now, we still see the lead on Ham. We still see Tanimo putting a lot of pressure on the Black Oreo Cookies in mid lane. Meow and Cat trying to just scale higher and higher. What can the bot lane of NG Blossom do to make sure that Sharon Fang and Special K aren't allowed to keep scaling too? Because if there's a lot of scaling on the map and they're not being abused for it, we're definitely going to see some issues here. So what are you looking to see Catnator and XDME do?
Honestly, they're also going with the Manamir kind of scaling build down there. So the big thing is going to be, are we going to see the bot lane, any bot lanes roam up to the Rift Heralds? I think it's good that Kisses for Cats are trying to make a play away from the enemy bot lane, because that's where they don't have a numbers advantage and it's just fighting 3v3.
And we see that Shockwave go a little bit wide. That's a big cooldown to not have for this Herald fight.
Yeah, however, Special K is already on the move, right? He's kind of moving up there. Is in a little bit of an awkward position right now. If NG Blossom knew he was there, they could have looked to kill him. And they still might.
Special K taking kind of low here. Equalizer's going to go ahead and go out, and it's going to connect and lock that Jarvan up. But it's not going to be enough. But now Ham is on the run as he's going to start running after him. Phase Rush proc. There comes the Swag and Drag, and everything's going in. And Ham is locked up with so much CC. Here comes the Galio. It's going to go ahead and lock down Tanimo. And Exasperated Black Oreo Cookies on the run. But here comes XDME with a good bind. Taunt is going to connect. Very wild team fights just all over the map.
Yeah, and it was a good roam from Special K being there first. However, his team, he was not on the same page with his team. We saw, the team was a little desynced. And because of that, his team was lagging behind the Jarvan and Galio roaming back mid. And instead of playing it safe, like I said, he kind of walked out, put himself in an awkward position. And well job by Exasperated to punish it. But you still have this ticking time bomb of the Vladimir in the top lane. Very scary champion to have to go against when ahead. And we see him rushing this kind of early Spellbinder as he's looking for a tower dive.
He's going to take down Jeremy Flip a little bit low with the Hema Plague. But Ham's here to also back him up.
Jeremy Flip kind of wasted his W though.
It's Channing Crystal Arrow looking to go ahead and connect the bot lane. It didn't quite connect. So that's not gonna, they're going to have that cooldown for the top lane. But Black Oreo is on the way up to try to see if he can kind of prevent this dive, but it might be just a little bit too late. Taunt connects onto Ham. Ham's going to go ahead and get taken down. And here comes Black Oreo Cookies. He's going to go ahead and collect the taunt onto Meow and Cat. Meow and Cat's going to be blown up by Black Oreo Cookies.
Yeah, and Kisses for Cats, it's part of their personality, part of who they are to always go for these early game plays. And the comp from NG Blossom is doing a very good job of reacting to it. The big problem is it's still a 2,000 gold lead. Even if it's 6-6 in kills, it's still a big gold lead for the side of Kisses for Cats, and I just think they scale better. So the big thing is going to be, at these next 8 minutes, can NG Blossom continue their trend? I mean, once again, Special K is in a little bit of a precarious position down here. There is potential for them to tower dive him, but it's not going to happen. You know, we see them kind of smartly backing off, not trying to overforce their position. And the big thing in that top lane dive, Jeremy Flip actually could have lived if he didn't waste his Spirit's Refuge about 10 seconds prior to the dive on nothing. He would have had it up and he would have been able to survive Ham. But, you know, he kind of wasted the cooldown. But it does look like he's actually soloing Rift Herald right now. Up there, kind of undetected. Sacrificing a little bit of his CS. More and more in the hole for the Rift Herald up there.
With that first Rift Herald. Oh, but Enchanted Crucifier is going to connect onto Sharon Fang, forcing the cleanse out.
Yeah, and that's part of that power of the Ashe versus Ezreal, right? You out damage him in this early game, and when you force him, you can force him to E away just with your autos because you can perma-slow him, and then you can land the Enchanted Crystal Arrow for free. He does have cleanse, so that's part of, you know, his escapability we talked about, but now he doesn't have cleanse for the next Enchanted Crystal Arrow, for the next Morgana Binding, you know, the next 5-man bot lane play we might see happen. As the Rift Herald does go over to the side of Jeremy Flip, but he is down 40 CS, right? So he did sink another 20 CS gap for this Rift, and they gave it to the top laner, but I mean, he's, you know, he's gonna lose a lot individually in his lane probably for this play. As we see them try to catch Exasperated out. You're expecting to see Shen ult down to a fight, potentially, but we do see a dragon started up here from the side of Kisses for Cats.
It's down to 1,300 health. Equalizer coming out, and it's going to take him down. Black Warrior Cookies, but Exasperated is going to steal the dragon! Double kill over to Tanamo, and here comes Catnator on the backside. He's going to go ahead and pick up the kill, flashing forward. He's going to go ahead and knock down Tanamo. Ham's alone here. Stand United coming out to try to save Black Warrior Cookies. Going golden, and that is 3 for 2 with the dragon going over to NG Blossom.
Yeah, and probably a 4 for 2. We see Meowing Cats TPing down here to try to help out, you know, Special K. Maybe get Special K out. As Black Oreo Cookie's now in trouble.
And Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to connect onto Meowing Cat, and Catnator's going to pick up that kill!
Oh no. Oh no. It's all falling apart, Pasta Boy. It's all falling apart. NG Blossom doing what they do best, where they've always won with their macro, kind of controlling the map. You know, their team comp is all about out-rotating your opponent, and we just see Kisses for Cats. The pure aggression as Special K just kind of oversteps, and Jeremy Flip makes him pay.
Wasn't expecting that much damage coming out of the Shen. The Titanic Hydra was able to be locked in. Here comes the TP from Catnator to make sure that Sharon Fang's not able to chase down Jeremy Flip. Good defensive TP.
Yeah, and this is that pure aggression that Kisses for Cats is known for, and NG Blossom, you know, they prepared for it this time, right? They're not gonna get steamrolled like they did the first time around. They're prepared for the aggression, and we see them just every play Kisses for Cats makes, NG Blossom is showing up to with more members, where they're better prepared. Right, Ham went over the wall for a kill and was unable to get back in the dragon pit quickly enough. And what we saw was, instead of being able to finish the dragon, they had to wait for Ham to get back over the wall, and Exasperated was able to make a steal happen.
Flash, Flag, and drag over onto Tanamo. Tanamo's going to be taken low. Shockwave comes out, but it's just a little bit too late, and that's a shutdown over to Exasperated.
Yeah, and we're seeing great plays coming out of NG Blossom here. Ham's caught out of position now, too.
And Ham's already trying to just cut away with that phase rush, but it's not going to be enough. Black Orchid is going to go ahead and shut him down. Enchanted Crystal Arrow on a Special K. Special K is also going to get slowed down from the repeated Ash Arrow. Equalizer comes out. It's just not enough. There's deaths all over the map. Here comes the flag and drag over to Sharon Fang. Sharon Fang trying to go forward, but XTB's going to go golden. Double kill Catnator.
Yeah, and well played from the side of NG Blossom. We're loving what we're seeing here. You know, NG Blossom, they came out swinging. 16 kills in 16 minutes. And you know, 5 minutes ago, I said NG Blossoms, you know, they were still down 2,000 gold despite being 6-6. And that they needed to make the next 8 minutes count. And boy, have they made the next 8 minutes count. So far in those minutes, you know, they've gotten another dragon. They've gotten a 3,000 gold lead for themselves. So it's been a 5,000 gold swing in 4 minutes to their side. And, they've gotten 10 kills to 2. So in these last 5 minutes, it has just been all NG Blossom. And this is that early to mid-game lead that I was talking about NG Blossom needed to build. And now that they have it, it should be, this game is in their grasp, right? This next 10 minutes is going to be all NG Blossom. They're going to be able to take pretty much whatever fight they want. And Kisses for Cats has to weather the storm. If Kisses for Cats can get through this next 10 minutes without losing relatively too much, then they have a chance. But these next 10 minutes are all NG Blossom.
We see the man immune ticking up for Catnator, as well as the Runan Shuriken going to go ahead and be finished out. That's a lot of utility now that's going to be going over to NG Blossom. That's a lot of slows. You have the AoE now from the Runans. You have more damage ticking up from the man immune being just charged away. NG Blossom is right where they want to be right now. They have the lead. They have the gold lead. They have the kill lead. They have the turret lead, and they're on 2 dragons right now. So they're getting ready for Soul in case the game gets going to that point. NG Blossom is right where they want to be.
Yeah, and Kisses for Cats is kind of looking to make something happen here on the top side. But we see Galio already kind of walking up here with the Morgana. I mean, you can't really tower dive that Shen, right? It's not really feasible. XDME a little caught out of position here.
Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to connect on the Special K. Special K is going to be knocked up, just repeated CC. And here comes the Galio ultimate. Equalizer comes out, doing a lot of damage. Meowing Cat is on the run, but here comes Exasperated, locking him down in the Cataclysm. This fight's all over the place. Triple kill over for Ham. Cleanse coming out. Ham's just trying to do as much damage as he can. Jeremy flips onto him, but he's going to be taken down. And now Black Order Cookies is on the run, sped up by Tanamo. Locking him down now. Arcane Shift. He's going to go back forward and a shutdown over to Sharon Fang.
And they won that fight 4v5. Wall down 3,000 gold. Ezreal wasn't even there till the very end to pick up the kill, and XDME just really mispositioned and kind of baited his whole team. We saw a Shen ult onto the Morgana support, and it didn't mean anything. No Zhonya's out yet, so couldn't really survive. And once the Ashe died, their damage was relatively gone. It's very much a pop-off play from Ham. Ham went ham there, and we saw just a great play coming out from the team. Can they pick up this dragon, though? I don't think so. It should be 3rd dragon going over to NG Blossom. A little bit of too much of an aggressive play for Kisses for Cats.
3rd dragon now over NG Blossom. They're going to go ahead and take down XDME, forcing the flash out of Catnator as he has to flash away for safety over that dragon pit. Kind of an aggressive play for Kisses for Cats that just didn't pay out for him. They started up a dragon while Exasperated was on the way back over, and Ham had just reset.
Yeah, I think they thought, maybe Exasperated would be a little slower to the punch, as Ham looking to catch out Catnator here. Goodbye.
So much damage on this Graves. We can see already the Black Cleaver picked up, the full Warrior, and now he has another Caulfields to just kind of keep backing up that damage. Equalizer goes a little bit wide here, but they're going to go ahead and throw down the Equalizer goes on, but the Shockwave goes a little bit wide, but Ham's not done with him quite yet. But here comes Exasperated to back his mid laner up.
Yeah, and I talked about how NG Blossom had looked like they were prepared and ready for the aggression of Kisses for Cats. And then as soon as I say that, Kisses for Cats aggression almost catches them off guard, right? It's like all these plays that have kind of gotten Kisses for Cats back in the 3,000 gold lead have been plays that just kind of came out of nowhere. You don't really expect the team down 3,000 gold that's lost 3 or 4 fights in a row to look to actively fight you in your own jungle topside. Now the dragon play was a little bad, a little troll. We saw Ham recalled, like you said. Maybe they just overestimated, how quickly they could do it, and they kind of give over 3rd dragon for free to the side of NG Blossom. So even with kind of the gold lead still swinging, Infernal Soul's coming up in 3 minutes, and if NG Blossom can pick up an Infernal Soul, it's going to help them tremendously snowball in the mid game.
And that's going to be a lot of damage available for Black Order Cookies with an Infernal Soul, and then you're still going to see Exasperated do a little bit of damage there with the Cinder Hulk, but it's going to be a pretty scary thing to think about when you have Catnator and Black Order Cookies with Infernal Soul in their tool. Here you go, and Channel Crystal Arrow goes wide. Black Order Cookies going to TP in. He's going to look for the taunt onto Sharon Fang. It's going to connect. Meowing Cat now is going to take XDME low. XDMO trying to kite his way out. Stand United is going to go ahead and connect as well. Here comes the Galio ultimate.
Shockwave!
Tries to kite back out. Huge shockwave's gonna connect, and here we go, boys. They're flashing back forward. Tom's gonna connect down to 2. He's gonna take down Special K. He has to go golden. This fight's all over the place. Black Order Cookie's gonna be taken down by Sharon Fang, and Ham is now making his way back forward. 3 for 1 Kisses for Cats.
And Meowing Cat TP'd behind to continue the chase.
And now
That
Jeremy
is
Flip is kind
always
of
a
taking
pleasure.
low. Here we go. Meowing Cat trying to force out just a little bit more damage. He's forced to flash away.
Kisses for Cats is crazy, man. They have no limits to how far they are willing to take their aggression. And just a huge shockwave from Tanamo. I mean, that fight was dangerously close to going either way. And we saw just a massive, like, 4-man shockwave there in the choke point for the Orianna. Layered that Rumble ult on top of it. You know, look, he's 1-6. I did say it was going to be easy to punish the Rumble, but he has the Leandries. He's almost at the level 11, as Ham just doesn't care. Truly does not care.
To go golden to survive that just a little bit extra collateral damage, but here we go. Jeremy Flip's going to come forward, shut down on Ham as Black Orchid takes it down. Now Tanamo's forced to run. Shinny Crusadero's going just a little bit too wide as Tanamo lives with the very last little sliver of his health.
Alright, look. We're going to call a tactical ending, okay? We see how chunked NG Blossom's carries are. You know, jungler dies, makes them think they can do a Baron. We'll have to see if Kisses for Cats can use their utility. There's no TP on Orianna, and no Rumble ult quite yet to actually punish this.
CC locks down and blows up Meowing Cat. Cataclysm onto Sharon Fang now. Sharon Fang is taken dangerously low, but Exasperated's going to go ahead and shut him down as well. This looks like it's going to be a free Baron over here for NG Blossom.
Yeah, we still have Rumble ult and Ori ult, and the Smite already came. Oh. Almost. But yeah, like you said, a free Baron to NG Blossom. And honestly, the key there, you know, Ham inting was really bad. But being able to chain CC Meowing Cat so Vladimir couldn't use any, you know, use his ult, use that 88 stacked Spellbinder to like one-shot people, that was massive. Immediately eliminating the Vladimir threat, who had Flash, who had ult, who had Spellbinder, it just completely got them the Baron for free. And Ham's over-aggression of not caring really punishes his own team there, as we see a fight breaking out. Ham again
finds it up. Here comes the Galley ultimate. Chances Air is going to connect onto Ham. Ham's now trying to kite away. Black Orchid's going to go forward. He's going to land a double taunt. And here we go. Flag and Drag going to go forward. It's going to connect, and they're going to take down 2 dangerous low. Catnap picks up a kill on a Special K, and Exasperate's going to go ahead and take down Ham. But now Meowing Cat trying to use that Spellbinder, trying to use the Hemoplague, and he's going to take 1 dangerously low. Shut down over to Sharon Fang as Black Orchid's taken down. NG Blossom here so low, and Sharon Fang's not ready to let him get away just quite yet. He's going to keep chasing down Jeremy Flip. Double kill over to Sharon Fang. And here we go. Flash away by Catnator, and he's going to shut down Tanamo.
Meowing Cat, man. It's back and forth.
Meowing Cat now looking to go, and he's going to take down Catnator. And here we go. Sharon Fang also picking up the shutdown. That looks like it's going to be a dragon over to Kisses for Cats to stop this soul.
The Miracle Steal for XDME? Can he do it? I think not, but I mean, the big thing there is we see the lack of damage kind of coming out from the comp of NG Blossom, right? It took so much for them to kill Ham. And after they killed Ham, they had pretty much nothing left in the tank for Meowing Cat, for Sharon Fang. I mean, heck, Tanamo didn't even have Shockwave for that entire fight, coming up just at the end when Catnator flashed on him and was able to kill him. And, I mean, even without Shockwave, they're able to win this fight. We see Rumble has hit his level 11, you know, equalizer spike. We still have, there's just so much damage for the side of Kisses for Cats. If NG Blossom isn't able to group them up, you know, either pick them off so spread out that it's just one pick, or just group multiple people together, it's bad, right? If in a team fight they're only focusing as Ham, going in already.
And Chanticle's Arrow is going to connect and try to slow him off of Black Oreo Cookies. Black Oreo Cookies was taken so low by Ham. That was his Ignite being used. You know, we're looking at this now. That's 47 kills in a 26-minute game. Absolute bloodbath that we asked for, but I didn't think it was going to be this crazy.
You know, with Kisses for Cats, every game is a crazy game, I guess. This, nothing more to say. I mean, Ham is just, I would say 85% of the fights we see this game have probably started from Ham. Whether it's Ham killing somebody or going so aggressive that he gets Ash Arrowed or Morgana binded. almost immediately, as Vladimir, that's who they're looking to pick now.
Meowing Cat taking dangerously low, forced to pull away, and here comes the Cataclysm. It's going to connect and lock him into place. Black Oreo Cookie's going to lock him up as well. Exasperated taking down Meowing Cat.
Yeah, and there's one of those picks I was talking about, right? They only had to really use Driving Cataclysm, as Ham is not willing to give up his blue buff. Does Smite steal it away and get out?
You know, Jake, these fights are just all over the place. Both these teams not looking to give up any small, minor objective. Both teams not looking to give up any kind of wave pressure. Two dominant teams just going back and forth. And this is definitely the game one we wanted to see coming out of this final series.
Yeah, and, you know, it's just the biggest thing is the more and more the longer this game goes, the more it swings to me for Kisses for Cats, right? Vladimir has no CDR in his build, which I think is pretty rough. But he does have basically the 2 highest damage AP items you could get from just flat AP, right? We have 120 AP on Spellbinder plus its passive that you can use, you know, the active, and then 120 AP on Rabadon's with its passive. I mean, we're just looking at a Vladimir that's trying to put out the most possible damage to the squishy team. We do see actually a Locket picked up for Galio, as once again Ham just looking to fight somebody with his level 16.
He's taking Jeremy Flip down dangerously low, and he's going to go ahead and just pick up that kill. Ham is all over the map.
God bless. Ham is just living up to all the hype this game, right? All the aggressive, all the good and the bad. As look, he's going for the Gromp, and we see NG Blossom maybe looking to pick him off, but unable to. And, you know, Shin's dead for 30 seconds on the map, right? There's no Baron to take, no objectives to take, and we're going to have to see. I mean, now Jeremy Flip doesn't have Flash, as XD&Me potentially caught out by Ham.
He's going to take him down to about half HP. Equalizer's going to go down as well, forcing the Flash from XD&Me. Collateral damage is going to connect, but going golden for XD&Me. Enchanted Crystal Arrow now. Ham might be just be a little bit too far forward, as Ham's now going to go ahead and go over the blast zone. He's going to take him down XD&Me, but now he's locked up in the Cataclysm. He's trying to do so much damage, but he just can't. Exasperated with the Flagon Dragon. Now Special K is going to be shut down by Catinator.
And meanwhile, Black Oreo Cookies is solo killing Meowing Cat. You know, is this some high-level win trading? You know, Ham blast coning over the wall, and there's a TP with the Shen ult behind Sharon Fang.
Sharon Fang forced to flash away now. Tandem's looking to the side.
Shockwave!
Huge Shockwave is going to connect onto 4, but that might just be a little bit too late, as Sharon Fang's now forced to keep kiting away.
What is happening in this game, Pasta? I don't even know. I mean, Ham just... You know, they got a heal, they got a Zhonya's, they got a flash, and Ham's just not enough, you know? Oh, I'm gonna dash forward, I'm gonna take a blast cone into the enemy's base with Baron up.
But Catinator have this Murmana already completed, Ruinous Hurricane as well as an Infinity Edge. Catinator's pumping out so much damage in these team fights.
Yeah, there's no Shockwave available, right? But, you know, Exasperated's dangerously low. Can Black Oreo Cookies kill Sharon Fang?
He's gonna go ahead and land the taunt as well. Cleanse forced out. Tandemos just trying to keep him up.
Meowing Cat has TP.
Take him up. Oh, and Sharon Fang shuts down Black Warrior Cookies. Special K now interested. He has the Equalizer available. Meowing Cat's gonna shut down XD&Me, and that's the Baron over to NG Blossom. But now they're on the run to try to save their last couple Barons, and that's gonna be a shutdown on Catinator. Exasperated.
Yeah, Meowing Cat's
still just trying to run away. He's not ready to let him go quite yet. Ham's gonna go ahead and start first auto over. Exasperated just trying to play in this alcove here. He's gonna take the blast cone away, just trying to waste as much time as possible. He is still just going and going.
Yeah, he's kind of stalling out the dragon. I mean, we see Jeremy Flip walking down there. He might actually try to solo this while they're wasting so much time chasing the jungler. I mean, Ham is just, he wants to kill, and he might lose Infernal Soul for it. I mean, he's farming Krugs. Jeremy Flip's doing Infernal Soul, and Ham is farming Krugs.
Meowing Cat and Special K on the way. Jeremy Flip has this dragon about half HP now. He's been spotted out. Hemoplague's gonna connect. He's forced to taunt over the wall. And that's the second Infernal Dragon over to Kisses for Cats.
Luckily Shen is not a fast dragon taker solo. But Ham just 1v4, 1v3 now?
His team's going to go ahead and try to respond to him as well. Knock up coming in, and then Special K is going to be taken down by XD&Me. Ham's not ready to go quite just yet. Stand United's going to connect on the Catinator. Catinator doing so much damage in these fights, but Tandem's going to shut him down. Meowing Cat's in the back line. XD&Me's going to be shut down. Double kill over to Ham. These fights are just all over the place.
Okay. One, how much damage Meowing Cat did, and then two, the size of the shield on Catnator for him to still die. I mean, he had Black Shield with Guardian and Shen ult when she was low for that max shield, and still just basically got deleted. This game is crazy. I mean, each team has basically 32 kills at 32 minutes, right? Each team is just 1 kill a minute, as Ham is just not giving up on getting kills.
Connect on the Ham. Shockwave's gonna go and pull one in, but now Ham is still trying to keep doing as much damage as he can. Exasperated onto Exasperated, and Ham is just not willing to let it go. And here we go, and Shadow Crusader's gonna connect as well as the taunt, and Ham's just locked up. Shut down over to Catnator.
Yeah, you know, they kill Ham here. Unfortunately, there's nothing for them to take on the map. That's kind of just Ham's over-aggression. I mean, we do see a shutdown going over. The biggest problem is NG Blossom's comp. I can't get past how I feel like it's not going to do enough damage in these fights. And, you know, in the early game and mid-game, I was praising them, right? They had the controlled aggression. They answered every one of Ham's plays with numbers advantage. And now they're just really playing into Kisses for Cats win condition, right? Ham is doing every reckless, aggressive, stupid thing you could think of. And they're kind of 50-50 coin flipping it, but that's good enough, right? Even winning 50% of these fights is good enough for Kisses for Cats because of the way their team comp is with the Ezreal safety like you talked about, and just the sheer number of damage they have. You know, when these fights are actually 5v5s, even if you're picking Ham in the beginning because of the aggression, when you commit to a fight, when you commit everything to kill one member in a 5v5 and your team comp has no damage, when all those CC tools are gone, you fall apart, right? No way to stop the Ezreal from running you guys around. No way to stop Meowing Cat on the Vladimir from just completely decimating people with Hemo Plague. And Tanamo, for the most part, has been hitting really good shockwaves. Very consistent 3 to 4 man shockwaves in most of these fights. It's really hard, right? NG Blossom is going to have to look to pick 2 members off or pick someone off in the side lane and convert it into a Baron or Infernal Soul when the objective is up. They need to stop fighting for these next, minute. For the next minute, they need to not fight.
And that'll put them in a good position to either take the Dragon or the Baron, right? So that's an Infernal Soul or a Baron power play. And both of those are what NG Blossom needs to kind of make sure that they can cement their lead. If they can put Shen in the sideline, ready to react, he has the teleport, he has the Stand United. Catnator as well having the teleport, able to quickly react depending on which objective is going to be focused. NG Blossom is in a good position if they don't fight. Kisses for Cats is going to be looking to force these fights out and take them before the objectives.
Meowing Cat is so scary. You know, the CS lead has been there almost all game. We've seen 40 to 50 CS. But because of how aggressive Ham's been, he hasn't gotten too many shining moments. You know, the Baron play, obviously, where he TP'd behind was huge. I mean, this guy, he's almost quietly sitting there, right? 13 assists, almost more than the support. You know, only 5 kills, but he's got the death cap, he's got the Zhonya's now, 100 stack Spellbinder. This is where this next fight, we might see Vladimir make the big impact. I am ready for a Vladimir flank to just decimate a team. Show why I ban this champion every game, because Vladimir is so scary in these late game team fights. This Ham is looking for a pick with Special K down here.
He's going to keep going forward. Phase Rush is going to be procced. And now Black Orchid is taking low. He's going to go golden. He might look to ult out here, but he's just going to force the exhaust over onto Ham. Stand United is going to come out. His team's coming to back him up, and Chain Crusader is going to go. It's going to connect on a Special K, and now Special K is going to be taken down, and Ham is just getting forced out. Shotgun's going to hit them to 2. Cataclysm is locking him up. Ham is just trying to stay alive as he's putting out so much damage. Tanamo is ready to keep going forward. XDME is going to be trying to just save Catnator, and now Tanamo has just gone too far forward, but his team is there to back him up as Catnator is now on the run. Meowing Cat is going to be forced to pull out. Exasperated is just trying to get away, make sure he doesn't die. The objective fights are so important. Ham's going to go forward. He's taken already low enough. XDME
he won't die.
To put up so much damage. Catnator is slowing. Catnator pumping out damage. He's taking down Ham, and that's a shutdown on the Tanamo. Ace for NG Blossom. And that's going to be
both Infernal Soul and Baron, probably. Oh, they're going to look to end, potentially. What? This TP, it's only Special K and Sharon Fang. I don't think they can end. not going for Baron here. It might come back to haunt them a little bit. I don't see them ending the game here. I mean, I don't really know what happened to Sharon Fang in that fight, though. Sharon Fang kind of died very, very far in front of his team there. He was not kiting back. We saw him kind of just die in a very aggressive position. And Tanamo Shockwave crucially only hit the 2 tanks, pretty much, right? It only hit Exasperated and Jeremy Flip. It was not the most useful Shockwave, and pretty much everything that could go wrong in that fight went wrong for Kisses for Cats. And Ham trying to re-engage the fight, too aggressive, and they lose Infernal Soul. Luckily, NG Blossom, a little troll, didn't take the Baron, right? We saw even Catnator TP bot lane. They really wanted that tier 2 tower bot lane. Special K looking called out here.
He's going to go ahead and lay the Cataclysm onto him. Bind as well is going to connect. Equalizer just goes wide, not going to connect. And Shannon Crystal Arrow is also going to be used onto Sharon Fang, forcing out the cleanse. As Shockwave goes just a little bit too wide. And now Ham is just trying to do what he can for his team, pull some of that aggressive over. QSS going out. It's not going to matter. NG Blossom is so dominant right now, pushing forward. Stand United going to land on Exasperated. And that's going to be Catnator picking up Sharon Fang. And that's going to be 4 down of Kisses for Cats as Tanamo's just trying to waste time. And that's another ace for NG Blossom. That should be the game.
Hey, they did it! They didn't fight for the 2 minutes we said to. They made a good play with the 5v5. Using their Shen ult, right? They split it up. It wasn't really a 5v5. It was like a 2v2 and a 3v3 that they were able to win. And NG Blossom, I mean, if you're Kisses for Cats, this is a devastating game to lose, right? You had this game kind of not in the bag. It wasn't clean. But you definitely had the chance to win this game. And NG Blossom just steal it away. And we see game 1 going over to NG Blossom in our finals.
NG Blossom with a really good performance once they hit their power spikes. They used their comp exactly as they needed to, having the quick reaction from the Stand United out of the Shen, the Galio ultimate to connect, the TFs, the 2 teleports, or sorry, 3 teleports over from NG Blossom. They were just everywhere. They need to be quickly reacting to the fights, either rotating or quickly teleporting into their team. NG Blossom with a really good performance.
I don't know. I wouldn't call either performance a good performance, honestly. It started really well for NG Blossom, and I mean that was just both teams choking and throwing back and forth. Right? Like you said, NG Blossom did start very good with their map movements, and then they kind of started playing to kill Kisses for Cats win condition, and then Ham just consistently kind of over aggressive, right? The over aggression isn't going to work against the best team in the league, right? We see NG Blossom is probably the best team with Kisses for Cats, right? The 2 best teams in the league, obviously, because they're in the finals. And you can't just make these over aggressive plays where you're taking a blast cone into the enemy's base when you don't even have any of their tier 2 towers down and not expecting to lose a Baron, to lose an Infernal Soul. And they kind of choked those last 2 fights, right? That bot lane skirmish that ended up giving Infernal Soul to NG Blossom. If we could go back and watch that moment is what lost the game pretty much for Kisses for Cats. I don't know what happened with Sharon Fang in that fight. He kind of died really far forward. Tanamo Shockwave was ineffective. Meowing Cat did nothing, got locked in a Cataclysm. Big by Exasperated, got locked in the Cataclysm for almost the whole fight. And Vladimir not able to run around the fight, pretty much lost it as well. But yeah, that's game 1 for NG Blossom. And I am now hopeful we do get 5 games of this because I would love to see 5 games of this. I don't know if my heart could take it, but I'd love to see it. You guys will have to stick around. We might have 4 more games of this, hopefully. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.